Russian language course for beginners. Today we have lesson, I think, number 14. And today we will cover the new topic related to grammar. We will learn how to say have. English have. I have a book. He has a pencil, etc. And in Russian language, the grammatical structure is very different from English. Because in English it's very simple. I have a book. We have subject, verb, and object. Very straightforward. Very straightforward. But in Russian language, we wouldn't say it in this way. In Russian language, the grammar, if you directly translate it from Russian language in English to English, it would sound like this. At my side, there is a book. Or maybe another way how to translate it. By my side, by me, there is a book. So, and in this kind of sentence, I is not the subject, but an object. I hope you guys know what is subject and object. If you don't know, please write in chat. Then I'll give you a brief explanation with this. Does everybody know what is subject and object? So since nobody is okay, Arline says she knows. Okay. I have a book, and I need to make an introduction because there will be a lot of theory. You remember last time we learned how to do sentences. And if you want to say a sentence, I am a student, in Russian it would be Я ученик. And there is no to be, there is no the verb to be. We don't use the verb to be. However, we use the verb to be in exceptional cases. For example, when we want to express what we have. And so actually there is the verb to be, just it's used seldom. And to be in Russian would be есть. Есть. Есть равно, если есть means am, is, or are. So yes, есть is the form of the verb to be in the present tense. Okay. I don't want to make you confused because the verb to be in English has many forms. For example, was, were, will be, and also to be the original form. Okay. So есть in Russian language, the verb to be also has many shapes. The original form is быть, to be, and есть. So it is infinitive. Быть is infinitive, and есть is the present tense form of быть. Hope it doesn't make a bit of sense. If not, then just ignore this one. Just concentrate on this есть. Есть means to be. Okay. If I want to say, I have a book. I have a book. The Russian sentence will look like this. У меня Есть книга. I think you already know this word. Книга means a book. Then you already know this word because just now we explained it means to be. And these two words you don't know. And here is a big topic to discuss. This word actually means я. Я. Меня is a form of я. And also maybe touch on pronunciation a little bit. The stress in this word comes to the last syllable, меня. This is why this е must be changed to меня. Меня. And меня is a form of я. We are going to touch on such a thing as cases. In Russian language, we have such a grammatical category, which is called cases. Cases. What are the cases? I can't give you a good definition of what it is, but every noun and every pronoun has 6 different shapes. Actually, cases are also present in other languages from the Indo-European language family, for example, in German, for example, in Slavic languages like Polish, Czech, etc. There are 6, and also they used to be in Latin language in past. And for every noun and for every pronoun, there are 6 different shapes, and you need to use different shapes depending on the situation. I think later on I'll make a big lecture on cases, and I'll give you more detail. What are cases, how they are used, and why they exist. But today, we don't need to cover deeply what it is. You just need to remember. And now we don't even need to talk about nouns. You need to remember pronouns. Pronouns have 6 different shapes. We have already learned pronouns. And also, u is a preposition. In English, it means by. Or near. By or near. Near me, by me. Near me, there is a book. And, it comes to my mind that maybe it's good to mention that nowadays there are no cases in the English language, but there were cases in the ancient English language. The English language that was spoken a few hundred years ago, they had cases as well. And nowadays, those cases disappeared. But you can still see some traces of the cases in pronouns. For example, there are 2 forms of the pronoun I. It's I and me. And there is also 2 forms of pronoun he, him, she, her. Okay. For example, I see him. He sees me. Maybe it is not completely perfect grammar, so I can see him, he can see me. Okay, so you see that if I is in front, then it is written as I, but if it is at the end, it changes to me. It is because here I is a subject, and here me is an object. And likewise, it works for him. If it is object, then it is him. If it is subject, then it is he. Okay, so this, you can say that nowadays in English language, there are still 2 cases. used to be 6. Now there are 2 cases, and they are only present in pronouns. In Russian language, however, there are 6 cases, and they are present everywhere. In pronouns, in nouns, and also in adjectives, and I think in some other parts of speeches too. Every preposition in Russian has a specific case attached to it. The preposition u, which means near or by, is attached to the so-called genitive case. Genitive case. I'll just make a brief remark about names of cases in Russian. Sooner or later, you will all need to learn them, but I suggest you first, some messages. Yeah, I don't know what you mean, please tell me. In Russian cases, they have Russian names and they have English names. I suggest you first learn the English names because those names can give you some clues. So you don't need to memorize them today. I'll just tell you briefly what they are. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, instrumental, and prepositional. There are 6 cases, and for every pronoun, there are 6 different shapes depending which case you use. So nowadays, today, we don't need to bother about the other 4 cases. We just remember that subject is always in nominative case, and object can be in any other case, but not in nominative. And when you use the preposition u, you must use the genitive case. I think this is sufficient for this short lesson today. Later on, we'll cover it in details. Hope it is not too scary for you. Let's see. Previously, we have learned pronouns I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. And let me remind you what those pronouns are. Я, ты, он, она, оно, мы, вы, они. I hope that you remember those pronouns. We have learned them, I think, starting from the first lesson, one by one or piece by piece. I hope you can remember all of them. And those are the pronouns in nominative case. Nominative case. Let's see how they look like in the genitive case. So this would be nominative. And in the genitive case, they would look like this. Меня, тебя, его, ее, его, нас, вас, них. So I use exactly the same. Sequence, but maybe it would be better actually if maybe I arranged them column by column, so that it will be easy to see how they correspond to each other. Тебя, меня, тебя. Okay. Я, меня, ты, тебя, он, него, она, нее, оно, него, мы, нас, вы, вас, они, их. So the first column is the pronouns in the nominative case, and in the second column they are in genitive case. And I believe it takes a bit of effort to memorize all those pronouns in genitive case. Therefore, today I will not give you any more words. So your task for until the next lesson, so we still have 2 days until next lesson, to memorize those forms, the genitive forms of pronouns. Now, let's try to build sentences. So now I hope it makes more sense to you why the sentences is built in this way. So if I say, I have a book, then I say, у меня есть книга. But if I want to say that you have a book, then instead of меня, instead of me, you should put you. Then you can take a word from this table, this one, and we copy and paste to here. У тебя есть книга. And this would mean you have a book. You have a book. And so on. Depending on who is the owner of the book, you can freely change the pronouns. Okay, what is important to remember? I think I mentioned it already, but it is worthwhile, or it will not harm if I repeat it again. In this sentence, the subject is книга. У тебя means at your side, there is a book. So книга is the subject, есть is the verb. У тебя, I think it is an object. It's probably an object, okay? And in Russian language, subject is always in the nominative case, okay? And object is in any other case except for nominative. So since the subject here is a nominative case, then you can create the sentence with every kind of thing. You can use any word that we have learned so far. Every word that we have learned so far. Just how to make it more convenient so that I can add another table. Every time it happens when I move something, and something gets stopped. Okay. So let's see some examples, what other words we have learned, and we'll build more sentences. Just try to save more space on the screen. Let's see what words we have learned. We choose some nouns. I would think that this grammatical construction is way simpler than the plurals, because there are no exceptions. Just give me a second. Give me a second to find some words to give more examples. Some messages. Understood. Jessica. I'm happy that somebody can understand what I say. Now we're gonna make some sentences. More sentences. Okay. So here I found some nouns that we have learned before. And, with every sentence of this, you can create. With every word of this, you can create a sentence. So let's say I want to say I have a fork. У меня есть вилка. They have a friend. У них есть друг. He has a dictionary. У него есть словарь. Also, one thing that comes to my mind, which I forgot to mention, it is related to pronunciation. You see here, when we say него, we write it with g, and you would, if you're a beginner of Russian language, you would expect that this should be read as nigo, because this is the letter g. But there is an exception or exceptional rule if these two letters are at the end of the word, then instead of saying go, you must say vo, у него. So E must change to E because the stress is on the last syllable. У него есть словарь. So here you can make, so I think that this sentence is like a formula, right? It has a preposition, u, then here you must put the owner, whether it is you, him, her, she, us, you guys, or them. Owner. And then есть, and then the property, the belongings. What does the owner have? Property. Okay, and here it's very flexible. You can, in order to build any kind of sentence of this structure, you change. So these two parts, they remain unchanged no matter what. In every situation, there is a preposition u and the verb есть, and you only change the owner. You choose any kind of pronoun, but in genitive case, and you choose any kind of noun. And these nouns, they can be either in singular or in plural. For example, if we just now we had the sentence, I have a book. У меня есть книга. Okay, and I want to say I have books in plural. Then let's change it to книги. He has a house. У него есть дом. And if you want to make it plural, he has houses. Then you write дома like this, and so on. So now you can make a sentence with absolutely every noun that we have learned so far. Okay. So this is how we build the sentence when you want to express have, the verb have. This is how we use the verb have in Russian language. However, now I have explained to you the most common way to say that. There is also another way which is seldom used, but it is much simpler grammatically. Let me explain. So this is the first way. And then people would use it in 95% of cases. The 95% of situations, they would use this kind of grammatical structure. But there is also another way which is very seldom used, but which is much simpler in terms of grammar. The second way, there is a verb иметь. The verb иметь in Russian translates to English exactly like to have. And if you want to say, I have a book, and you want to use the second method, then it's very simple. You say, я имею книгу. And the structure of the sentence is exactly the same as in English. I have a book. So we have subject, verb, and object. Okay. It is just that first this method does not have any mistakes in grammar. You would, if you say it this way, it wouldn't be a mistake. It is just, it's a bit strange because it is seldom used. And also, in order to build this kind of sentence, you also must take note that now you must adjust the subject, the object. You see, originally, the book is книга, but you must change the ending, книгу. Because again, I'm not gonna touch or go much in depth. And I don't ask you to memorize anything about this, but just to give you like a hint, which we'll learn more properly in following lessons. Иметь comes with accusative case. So you must put книга in accusative case. So in order to be able to build sentences of this structure, first you need to know how to use accusative case and how to change nouns in accusative case. And also you need to know how to conjugate verbs. You see, the original form of the verb, it has the te and мягкий знак at the end, but here it changes to you, because in Russian language verbs conjugate. Я имею, ты имеешь, он имеет, and so on. Again, this is not the subject of our today's lesson, but just to let you know that although this structure is much more similar to English, but you don't know yet how to build it properly. So it's just for you to know that there is another option, just theoretically, you know, that there is an option which is simple and similar to English, but seldom used. Okay. And now we can move on to homework. Your homework will be to build 10 different sentences. So there must be U, of this method. U, then you put the owner, есть, then you put what does this owner have. And then you need to build 10 sentences, and you randomly choose the owner. You choose for each sentence, you choose one of the 8 pronouns in genitive case, and then you randomly choose the object, the property, and you choose out of those words that we have learned so far. Okay, and now I'll give you a full list of words that we have learned. Okay, and here you can find a big amount of nouns. Not all of them are nouns, but there are many nouns here, so you can choose any of them. Okay, I believe that you all have those words somewhere, so you can randomly choose. And please send that homework to me in a private message. And then, just to practice it a little bit, I would like to ask you to send a sentence, or to translate this sentence to Russian language for me. He has a pencil. Is there anybody who can answer, or who can say this in Russian, please? I'll give you time. We still have about 2 minutes. So please tell me how to say he has a pencil in Russian language.
У него есть карандаш.
Great. Great. Шабаш. У него есть карандаш. У него. If you say у нее, it will mean she has a pencil. У него есть карандаш. Okay, how about they have a car? Car. How to say they have a car?
У них есть машина.
Yes, exactly. Okay, guys, so our time is up. I believe you know your homework. So please build 10 sentences with random owners and random properties and send it to me. And for now, I want to thank everybody. I really appreciate your presence. And have a good Sunday. And I'll see you again next Monday. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
До свидания.
Bye-bye.